Hello and welcome to the Urban Farmer. Today we're going to plant tomato seedlings. Now what a lot of people have said to me about planting seedlings is they've no problem planting the seeds, but they plant too many and then they all come up at the same time and then they don't want to go to the bother of thinning them out. So I'm going to show you an easier way to plant seedlings so you don't have to thin them out. So the first thing to do is pretty obvious. We got some seed trays here and we got some nice fine compost. So I'm filling up the seed trays with compost and I've covered the table in newspaper so it doesn't really matter if I make a mess, because gardening is messy business. I'm sure some people are really tidy gardeners and I'm not really one of them. It's not very important to me. As long as you know what everything is and you look after it, that's the main thing. Now I've got a couple of really big lumps of stuff in here. We don't want to keep them in it, so we throw them over the wall. It's a good idea to settle compost like this. A lot of people, when they plant seeds, they put the soil in, then they put the seed in, and then they water it. I'm going to water the soil first because it makes it easier for the seed. If you don't want to make a lot of effort thinning out seeds, you can plant just one seed per module and hope for the best. So I'm going to do that. Now this is just a marker. So you just make a hole in the middle of each one. You see that? I'm going to plant two different types of tomatoes today. And both of these are from Irish Seed Savers. Seed Savers are out in Scariff, and what they do is really important work. They bring heirloom varieties back into circulation. And this tomato is called Red Centiflor, and it's a cherry tomato. You can get a membership to Seed Savers for about €35, and that €35 will get you 5 packets of seeds, lots of seed potatoes, discounts on workshops, and all sorts of stuff like that. That is how tiny tomato seeds are. It costs so much less money to plant and grow things from seed. Even if you bought seedlings from the cheapest supermarket in town, you would still pay about $3.50 for 6 modules. Whereas here, in my hand, I have about 24 seeds, which, well, you can work it out yourself, but it's much, much better value. In the other tray, I'm going to plant a tomato called Aurora, which I've planted before. It's really tasty. Tiny little yellow cherry tomatoes. They're really delicious. They're like little sweets. So I'm going to put them in these ones. Now these seeds are slightly bigger, so just be careful when you put them in.
Can we see them?
Now you might think, oh, you should put more in, but you know, just see what happens in a couple of weeks. You're going to know if these are working out or not. One of the most important things about growing stuff is labelling it. You might think, oh, I know that's tomato seeds, I know exactly when they went in, I know exactly what's going on with them, but usually you forget pretty quickly. So these are very standard labels you buy from the garden shop. Cost $1.50 for a packet of about 30. So I'm going to write on this. Write SS for Seed Savers, and today's the date, which is the 28th of March. And I put it in here. I could cover this with a sieved layer of compost, which is fine. Then there's no need to water it. But plants, seedlings like this, are prone to a disease called dampening off. Vermiculite pulls in the moisture but lets in the light. And it's supposed to be very good for stopping damping off. Damping off is when you get that green mouldy disease, and actually it's a lot more serious than you think. You won't have to go to the doctor, but if you get damping off, you have to basically throw out the plants, clean all the trays, scrub them with cider vinegar. I've never actually used vermiculite before. This is the first. I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself on camera. So I treated myself to a bag of vermiculite. It's about $4.85. Now what you want to do next, you can buy these trays, lids, little sets anywhere. Some of the supermarkets sell them, garden shops sell them. Put a lid on it and put it in a warm place. Some people say the sun doesn't matter, but you know, I think if you put it in a warm sunny place, all the better. In case you're wondering what your seedlings should look like in a few weeks, these were planted at the end of January, which is almost 2 months ago, but bear in mind that the temperatures were a bit chillier. And these were planted around the same time, but these are in bigger pots, which means you can leave them in there for longer, which is always good for a plant. So best of luck, and let's see how you get on in a couple of weeks.